Since its release 15 years ago, The Big Lebowski has accumulated one of the largest cult followings of any film of its generation, from Halloween costumes to Lebowski Fest to collections of academic papers. Given this success, I think it's safe to assume that there are some people who like it blindly just because it's popular.
That we're both, on a personal level, really enormous fans.
And there are probably people who don't like it blindly just because it's popular.
No, Donnie, these men are cowards.
Couple this with the fact that it wasn't a huge success upon its initial release.
Hey, at least I'm housebroken.
I think there's enough reason to explore this film and really explain why I think it's great. This story is one that alienates a lot of people. It's overly complicated and confusing.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And I think it may even distract people from enjoying the movie, as it did for me upon my first viewing. The first few times I watched this movie, I was really too wrapped up in the story, which in a way is one giant misdirect, to really enjoy the humor. The second few times I watched it, I was able to really ignore the complexities of the story and appreciate how funny the movie really is.
Oh, fucking A.
And after a few more viewings, I was able to appreciate the humor, but also appreciate the story for its brilliant but subtle structure. And I'll get to the structure in a minute, because you don't really have to recognize how great the structure is to really appreciate the movie.
Yeah, fuck it, man. Can't be worried about that shit. Life goes on, man.
Because what's amazing about the Coen brothers, especially by the way they write comedies, is that you're entertained by their complexities, even if you don't fully understand them when it's all said and done.
What do we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't fucking know either.
And this film's no exception.
Am I wrong?
However, their films get even better once you start to see what's really going on with their stories. There have been countless essays, even literal dissertations, about how The Big Lebowski can be viewed under different lenses, as a modern western, as an allegorical Gulf War film, or even as a film about Buddha himself. But what the film works best as is a detective noir story. Raymond Chandler wrote detective novels and screenplays in the 1930s and 1940s, and his works have become some of the most famous film noir films of all time, including The Big Sleep, Double Indemnity, and Strangers on a Train. Joel Cohen said of the Lebowski script that they wanted to, quote, do a Chandler kind of story, how it moves episodically and deals with the characters trying to unravel a mystery.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah. What?
As well as having a hopelessly complex plot that's ultimately unimportant.
You could use it as an excuse to make some money disappear. All you needed was a sap to pin it on. You just met me.
That's really what you have here. This is a detective story, and actually a pretty good one, with very unconventional characters.
Over the line!
Once you see that, you can kind of start to see the film for what it is. Also, I love the use of film noir lighting here. I mean, just look at some classic film noir titles. You get the idea. The dialogue in this film is possibly the best I've ever seen in a comedy.
Did I urinate on your rug?
You mean, did you personally come and pee on my rug?
Because it's what drives the comedy. There are very few set-up jokes or situations like in most comedic movies and TV shows. Yes, there are a few scenes where the characters find themselves in situations that you laugh at.
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
But it's almost entirely dialogue-driven laughs. At times it's dry and sarcastic.
Lord, you can imagine where it goes from here.
He fixes the cable?
Don't be fatuous, Jeffrey.
At times it's silly and over the top.
You're living in the fucking past.
3,000 years of beautiful tradition from Moses to Sandy Koufax. You're goddamn right I'm living in the fucking past!
At times it's satirical.
Isn't that what makes a man?
Sure, that and a pair of testicles.
I think the most impressive part of the dialogue is how it moves in a given scene. This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Notice how it's done in one shot, and how many unfinished sentences there are without a single cut of the camera.
My point, dude. There's no fucking reason why these...
Yeah, Walter, what's your point?
Huh?
Walter, what is the point? Look, we all know who is at fault here. What the fuck are you talking about?
Huh? No, what the fuck are you... I'm not...
The flow of the dialogue is amazing, and it makes every scene great.
Donnie, you're out of your element.
Walter,
The last thing, but most important thing that I want to mention is the characters. Now, the Coen brothers are the kind of writers that don't know how to write a flat character. Even characters that are only on screen for a minute or two are memorable and beloved. And this movie is no exception. I can't think of a single character in this movie that isn't memorable.
Woo!
You got a day Wednesday, baby!
And there's something to note of these characters that most viewers, including myself, overlook. A column written in my college's newspaper when I was a freshman discussed the film's characters as representations of varying gender roles. Take a look at any of the characters. The dude, the hero of the story who isn't actually a hero,
Because what's a hero?
is the first of many forms of masculinity represented in this film. He is lazy,
Quite possibly the laziest in Los Angeles County, which would place him high in the running for laziest worldwide.
doesn't seem to have an original thought,
Will not stand. This will not stand, this aggression against Kuwait.
The dude minds. This will not stand, you know? This aggression will not stand, man.
he distances himself from the events around him.
Her life is in your hands.
Man, don't say.
Mr. Lebowski asked me to repeat that. Her life is in your hands. Her life is in your hands, dude.
He never really shows any sign of bravery, he's confused for most of the film,
Johnson?
and the one time he tries to take action, it goes nowhere. He's powerless to the events happening around him. Also, notice the homage to the Maltese Falcon there. Then there's Walter, the overly masculine, temperamental sidekick, who's obsessed with Vietnam.
Drop it! This
Walter,
fucking
I
whore
don't see any
could waltz
connection
around
with Vietnam, man.
Well, there isn't a literal connection,
No, Walter,
dude.
face it, there isn't any connection.
Violence,
Sir, get the piece away.
Walter?
You think I'm fucking around here, fucking zero?
and a misplaced sense of justice.
So that there's no fucking reason why his wife should go out and owe money all over town, and then they come and they pee on your fucking rug. Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
I'm staying. I'm finishing my coffee. Enjoying my coffee.
He's a testosterone-fueled version of manliness, but he too is stupid, bumbling, and powerless. All his attempts to help the dude just make matters worse. There's the Big Lebowski, who thinks his money and young, attractive wife give him power.
I went out and achieved anyway.
But he's a sham.
He has no money of his own. I know how he likes to present himself. Father's weakness is vanity. Hence the slut.
Though he's not that much of a sham. His assistant Brant, who's a pandering kiss-ass. Smokey, a pacifist who gets pushed around. Jackie Treehorn, a powerful porn king who capitalizes on the lust and libido of others.
Mr. Treehorn treats objects like women, man.
The Jesus, a pederast.
8-year-olds, dude.
The Nihilists, the big talking wannabe hardasses who are actually no more than whiny bullies.
It's not fair.
There! Who's the fucking nihilist around here, you bunch of fucking crybabies?
So cool.
And Donnie. Donnie, who does literally nothing except roll 2 strikes and a 9, ask questions, and get told to shut up.
Donnie, you're out of your element.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Donnie, shut the fuck up. When do we play?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Phone's ringing, dude.
Thank you, Donnie.
Donnie, please.
He's probably the most powerless character in the movie. He gets bullied, talked over, and dies. Then there's the classic image of American masculinism, the cowboy.
You have to use so many cuss words.
The fuck are you talking about?
But not only is he an unreliable narrator because of his absence from the story, but also because he has no insight into the events he's narrating.
And there was a lot about the dude that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And a lot about where he lived, likewise.
Then there are the female characters. The story revolves around Bunny Lebowski, and although she's a nymphomaniac in debt to Jackie Treehorn and a trophy wife, she really just does what she wants for the entire movie, and no bad things happen to her. On the other end of the spectrum, you have Maud Lebowski, an intelligent, artistic, mature feminist,
Vagina.
who happens to be the smartest character in the movie. If you notice, she explains the entire plot in her first scene, but the dude and the audience are too stupid to catch on.
You mean coitus?
So what you're left with is a dozen examples of flawed male characters and 2 extreme examples of female characters. But who holds more power in this movie?
See? Che ridicolo!
At the end of the day, The Big Lebowski is a smartly written, wonderfully acted film noir farce that's filled with memorable characters, is laugh-out-loud funny, and gets better with every viewing. And take it from someone who knows, the 20th time you watch it is better than the 19th time you watch it. Another essential classic from the Coen Brothers.
My condition was in. I said I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
And we know that this is your homework.
We're gonna cut your dick off, Larry.
You're killing your father, Larry.